All right, here are quiz solutions, quiz 2 solutions for Math 111. We're given just one problem here. Yeah, well, 5 problems, whatever. Just this one. The first one, we're asked to multiply the square root of 2 times the square root of 8. And what this is equal to is the square root of 2 minus 8, which is the square root of 16, which is just 4. We had a rule that says that if you're, well, sure, why not? The rule you're using here is that if you have the same exponent, you can, if you're multiplying together two things with the same exponent, you can multiply together those two bases and then raise it up to that exponent. So that's what we're doing here with the exponent being 1/2. Okay, and on this one we have, there's a few different ways to do this. Let's see, now we have the same base but different exponents. So maybe, I think what I'm going to do is convert it into exponential form. This is 2 to the 1/2 times 2 to the 1/8. And the rule you use over here is when you have the same base, but you can add up the exponents. So in this case, I just have to figure out what's 1/2 plus 1/8. And that will be my exponent. Let's see, 1/2 is 4/8, so 4/8 and 1/8 is 5/8. So this is my answer in exponent form, but it also wants it in radical form. So in radical form, I'd say it's the 8th root of 2 to the 5th power. Or if you prefer, that's the 8th root of 32. I don't care which of these two you give me. You can figure out 2 to the 5th is 32 if you want, but you don't have to. All right, this next one here, we're trying to add these square roots. And you can't add them the way they're written right now, but what you could do is first simplify, maybe I'll do that over here, simplify square root of 8. And the way you do that is you say, well, the square root of 8 is the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2, which is 2 root 2. So really what this question is asking me for is what is the square root of 2 plus 2 times the square root of 2. So I have one of these root 2 things, and I want to add 2 more of these root 2 things. What I end up with is 3 of these, root 2 things. So that's equal to this guy. Maybe I should start putting a box around my answer so it's clear. This was this guy and this guy. And this one was just 4. All right, moving on. This one, kind of a mess. There's not a ton you can do now, but what we could do is simplify the denominator. So let's first simplify the square root of 8 minus the square root of 2. As we saw before, the square root of 8 is just 2 root 2. So really what I have here is 2 of these root 2 things minus 1 of these root 2 things. I have just 1 of these root 2 things. So really this guy is equal to 2 divided by the square root of 2, which is right, but it's not simplified. To simplify, we want to rationalize the denominator. So to rationalize the denominator, we'll multiply this guy. Maybe I should show one more step in here. We started out with 2 over the square root of 2. And we multiply that by root 2 over root 2 to rationalize the denominator, and that gives us 2 root 2 divided by 2. And then we can cancel out this 2 and this 2, and so our final answer would just be the square root of 2. The last one here, this is saying 2 to the, square root of, wow, what a mess. Okay, so this is, maybe I'll first switch this to exponent form. 2 to the 7th, taking the square root of that, so I'm raising that to the 1/2 power. And I'm taking the cubed root of that, So I'm raising that to the 1/3 power. What you can do is multiply all these guys together. 7 times 1/2 is 7/2, times 3 is 7/6. So this is just 2 to the 7/6 power. And since it asked me to write it in both radical and exponent form, this is exponent form. Radical form, I would say, would be, okay. It would be the 6th root of 2 to the 7th power. But I guess really we should simplify this. We should say that's the 6th root of 2 to the 6th times the 6th root of 2, right? 2 to the 7th, here's 6 of them, here's the remaining one. So this is 2 times the 6th root of 2. So I would say that your answer in radical form should look like this guy. And your answer in exponent form, this will work. This is one way to write it. You could also say it's 2 times 2 to the 1/6 to kind of make it match up more with this. But I think those two are good just the way they're written. So I would leave it just like that and say that's the end of the quiz.